you the magic trick. Carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates, right? The word carbo and the word hydrates tells you carbo stands for carbon. Hydrates stands for hydration. Hydration means water, correct or not? Hydrates, water. You hydrate yourself with water. So carbon and water. So what can you say from this? Carbohydrate has the element of carbon. Water is H2O, right? So which means which means carbohydrate has the element of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Through the name itself, you will know the element. Okay? So 从那个名字你已经知道 carbohydrate 是从 carbon, hydrogen 跟 oxygen 做出来的。So remember, it has 3 elements only: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Sometimes got glucose, sometimes got fructose, sometimes got starch. But what are all these kind of things? They are all under the carbohydrate. Yes, I agree with you. Carbohydrate actually, they are separated into different categories or type, we call it. There are 3 types of carbohydrate you all need to know. First is known as monosaccharides. Second is known as disaccharides. And third one is known as polysaccharides. Okay, so if you look at the word saccharides, saccharides are known as carbohydrate group. Okay, so the word mono, the word di, and the word poly tells you everything. Mono means single. Single, okay? Mono means single, one, okay? One, okay? Mono means single or one, okay? Usually means only one unit, single unit, okay? Single unit of sugar, single unit. So usually we call it simple sugar. So those monosaccharides that are occurring as single unit, okay, are glucose, galactose, and fructose. So all of you here that you have given me the example, you have given me glucose and you have given me fructose. So this glucose and fructose is under monosaccharide. So what I can know is you know two out of 3 about monosaccharide. So you know about glucose, you know about fructose. Okay. Then we look at di. Di means 2 units of simple sugar joined together. 2 units. Okay. So di means 2 units. So it means that there are 2 units of monosaccharide. Okay, monosaccharide 2个 monosaccharide 合在一起。Example, glucose 跟 galactose 粘在一起 ，glucose 跟 fructose 粘在一起，或者是 glucose 跟 glucose 合在一起都有可能。Okay, so a disaccharides, okay, are known as 2 simple sugar joined together, and usually we call the word condensed together. Meaning, why do I say condensed? You know the word condensation? Condensation 是你的水 condense means 你们的水从 water vapor 变成 water droplet， 对不对？So same idea here， 从小小个的东西变成大大个的东西，我们用 condense。Okay, 2 simple sugar condense. Okay, that's why we use the word condense. We cannot use the word join together just like that because there is a process name. So when you learn biology, there are a lot of process names that you need to know. Like for example, when we say water move across plasma membrane, we cannot just stop there. We must say by osmosis. So that's why the process name is very important. So here also the same. When you say 2 simple sugar joined together, you must say the word condensation. So these are the terms you all need to learn. So when we have two simple sugar joined together, we have the we have the maltose, we have the sucrose, and we have the lactose. See, your idea about carbohydrate now becoming more already. Just now you know glucose, just now you know fructose, now you know one more galactose. Now you know maltose, sucrose, and lactose. So now for polysaccharide, this is the part where your starch comes in. So for your polysaccharide, poly means polymer. You know what is polymer? Poly means a lot of simple sugar joined together. Many simple sugar. A lot. Okay, it's like a lot. Uncountable. Too many. Okay, so the first one is, this one is meaning many. Many simple sugar condensed together. Many simple sugar condensed together. Okay, so the one that you given example is starch, correct? Okay. Other than that, what else you have heard? Cellulose is a polysaccharide. So starch, cellulose, and the one and only one in your cell, animal cell, excess glucose will be converted into glycogen, the food storage in animal cell. Remember, glycogen. Okay, so glycogen, cellulose, starch. Now you see your idea about carbohydrate is getting more and more. So now you know that actually they are divided into the three different types of classes. It's either a single unit or a 2 units or many units. So a single units are the glucose, galactose, and fructose. The 2 units are the maltose, sucrose, and lactose. And the many units are the starch, cellulose, and glycogen. So what are the differences as in here? So let me go into the first one first, monosaccharide. So monosaccharides, you have heard, right? Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are those single unit. So, and we have the monosaccharide as in glucose, okay, galactose, and fructose, correct? Okay, so easy to say, glucose is actually through the photosynthesis product, correct? Do you remember? Glucose comes from photosynthesis product, okay? Photosynthesis product. So this product through the photosynthesis, at the end, it will go to where? At the end, it will go to the fruits because it comes from the plant. So usually the fruit, the sweetness from the fruit, okay, the sweetness from the fruit, when you eat the fruit, you taste the sweetness, is actually the glucose, okay? So usually sweet fruits, okay, sweet fruits, no fruits that are very sweet, example, mango. So this kind of fruits that are taste very sweet, that one has high content of glucose, okay? What about galactose? Okay, have you heard about lactose intolerant? Have you heard about lactose intolerant, boys and girls? Okay, lactose intolerant is caused by what? Galactose is actually known as milk sugar. Okay, so the sugar that is inside the milk is known as galactose. Okay, so galactose is found in a milk, and the sweetness is not as sweet as glucose. So the sweetness, you drink milk, you don't really feel the sweetness, right? But galactose is actually a part of sugar that is found in milk. All right. Then we go to fructose. Fructose is actually fruit sugar also. So fructose and glucose are very similar. They can convert to each other. Okay. So they are found in fruit sugar. They are also found in honey. Okay. Honey has a lot of fructose also, and it is very, very sweet. Okay, so compare fructose and glucose. Actually, fructose is much sweeter. Okay, so fructose. So this, what you can say is monosaccharide like glucose, galactose and fructose, they are the simplest sugar. They are the most simple sugar, simplest one. Okay, 再不能 simple 了，最 simple 了了。So because of this, they have an effect. Okay, all these three things, all these three sugar, they has an effect being called a reducing agent. So what do you mean by a reducing agent? Meaning that it is able of reducing, like for example, when what kind of test to test glucose? What kind of food test have you all learned to test glucose? Have you heard about Benedict test? A test to test the presence of glucose, you use a Benedict test, right? So can someone tell me what is the result? Okay, what is the color changes from what color to what color when there's a presence of glucose? Reducing agent means glucose, galactose, and fructose has the ability to reduce the Benedict solution. Benedict solution, there is a chemical compound inside that glucose, galactose, and fructose can change the color to become brick red precipitate. So a reducing agent meaning ability to change the chemical compound of something. So that is called a reducing agent. Agent that able to reduce something. Reduce like maybe take away oxygen or maybe take away electron. That is called reducing agent. So glucose, galactose, and fructose has the ability to do that. So because of the ability to do that, you can easily detect their presence. So you want to know whether got galactose, you use Benedict. You use Benedict, then you will know there is a galactose or not. You want to know whether it's a glucose, you use Benedict solution, you will know whether there's a glucose or not. Then, because their ability can reduce, so the blue will become brick red precipitate. Okay, so that is the idea. So for monosaccharide, remember, they are the simplest sugar. Okay, so since that they are the simplest sugar, they can easily dissolve in water. Okay, they can easily dissolve in water, and all of it tastes sweet. All of it tastes sweet, so it is the characteristic. Easily dissolve in water, it tastes sweet, and when you want to make it into powder, also you can, it will become crystallized. It can easily become crystals. Okay, it can become crystal easily also. Then you also know that monosaccharide like glucose, galactose, and fructose not only easily dissolve in water, not only taste sweet, not only can form crystal, it is also known as a reducing agent. So these four things about monosaccharide. All right. So carbohydrate, remember we have monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. So monosaccharide, that is their characteristics. Okay. So let's look at disaccharide, boys and girls. Disaccharide. Okay, disaccharides, like what I said, two simple sugar unit joined together. The glucose and glucose joined together, two glucose joined together will form one maltose. Okay, then glucose with fructose. So you see, I'm actually joining the what we call that, the monosaccharide. So meaning two monosaccharide joined together will get disaccharide. So these are the monosaccharide. This is the disaccharides. Okay. So glucose and fructose, what you will get? You will get sucrose. And then glucose and galactose, you will get lactose. This is the part where we talk about lactose intolerant. So your milk that you are drinking is actually lactose, and lactose is made of galactose and also glucose. So glucose joined together with galactose become lactose. So the milk, cow's milk, has a combination of glucose and galactose. Okay, so now knowing the idea of these disaccharides are made of two monosaccharide, so the process name is called condensation Remember, in order for a monosaccharide to become disaccharide, they must go through a process called condensation. 这样如果我要把它分开嘞，可以，那个 equation 是 reversible 了，所以 maltose 可以回复变成 glucose 跟 glucose，sucrose 也是可以回复变成 glucose 跟 fructose，lactose 也是可以变成回去 glucose and galactose。The process name will be different. The process name will be called hydrolysis. Hydrolysis. So in hydrolysis, the word hydro, so which means that actually you need to add water. 你一定要加水给这个 process 才可以发生。Okay, so that is the idea of disaccharide. So disaccharide also the same thing, soluble in water, 它也是很容易掺水的 soluble in water. And then not only that, it can also become crystals. Okay, but one special thing I want you to remember. Just now we talk about reducing agent, right? Glucose, galactose, and fructose are all reducing agent, right? Disaccharide, only maltose and lactose are reducing agent. So reducing agent only is maltose and lactose only. So sucrose is not reducing agent. Remember, sucrose is not reducing agent. It is not. It's never. It's not a reducing agent. Remember that. Okay. So about disaccharide, this is the idea. So where can we get maltose? Wheat base, where we call it also known as malt sugar. Okay, malt sugar. So maltose is a malt sugar. Okay, all right. Then for sucrose, 你们很喜欢喝那个sugar cane 的水吗？ So a sugar cane, okay, 你们如果喝 sugar cane 的糖是叫做 sucrose, okay, sucrose, okay. 如果你们不只是你们喜欢喝那个甘蔗水，你们的黄 pineapple 也是有 alright, okay, sugar cane, pineapple, okay, pineapple also has sucrose inside. Then for lactose, as what I said to you all, it is inside milk. Okay, so milk, cheese, all these kind of thing, milk and cheese, and also butter, all these contain lactose inside. Okay, 有 lactose 的成分. All right, so that is about maltose. That is about disaccharide. All right. So as you all can see, when we talk about monosaccharide, we talk about soluble in water. We talk about their characteristic is sweet. We talk about their characteristics can become crystal. Okay. Then we talk about they are the reducing agent. When we talk about disaccharide, we also talk about same thing. They are soluble in water. They can form crystal, and two of it are reducing agent except sucrose. Okay, actually all these also taste sweet. Maltose, sucrose, and lactose is also taste sweet, but not as sweet as monosaccharide. Okay, now we go to the last one for today, polysaccharide. 最后一个今天的 polysaccharides So for polysaccharides what you need to know is the word poly meaning a lot of glucose. So polysaccharides also, just now I mentioned, got three: starch, glycogen, and cellulose, 对不对？ So starch, glycogen 跟 cellulose 这个三个里面 ，starch 是很多个glucose 粘在一起的。So 这种呢，就是刚才老师讲的rice， OK， 你们给的 example 是 rice。你们的面包有 starch， 你们的面有 starch， okay? So these few things. Then when we talk about glycogen is usually in an animal cell. animal cell. Okay, usually found in animal cell where you keep, for human, you keep inside liver, correct or not? Then also you can find it in muscle cell, also has glycogen. Then cellulose, just now I did mention to you, is cell wall component. Okay, like just now I think plant cell wall, the component. All right. Okay, so what is the thing you need to know here is you need to know the drawing of the structure. The drawing of the structure, because they are going to ask you in objective question. 这个三个的 structure 是很不一样的。这个三个 structure 呢 ，for monosaccharide most of the monosaccharide 它们的样子是这样子的 ，hexagon 的 shape， 一个。这样两个的呢，两个的是这样咯，两个的是两个连在一起咯。OK，then 如果是 poly 呢，很多个连在一起，所以你可以看哦 ，OK， 我给你们 notes 看啊，老师不需要画到这样清楚给你们看啊，老师给你们看 notes 一下子啊。You all must know the structure. So please, if you all have your hard copy with you, please highlight the what we call that the drawing part. Okay, this part. 这个 drawing 很重要。Starch 的样子是卷来卷去这样子的，所以你一看就知道这个是 starch 来的。因为考试的时候他会问 ，exam time they will ask you, they give you this picture, they ask you what is this structure, under which category of food or chemical composition, and you must know. Then glycogen 是这样子的 ，branching out 的 ，branch out。And then you can see cellulose 它是墙壁哦，它是上面下面 hook 在一起的。So you can see many chain of glucose, lot of chain， 三个 chain 在这里，然后那个三个 chain 上面下面全部都有连着的So the structure is very important， 因为它是 complex sugar， 它是叫做 complex sugar。And since 它是太过 complex 了，它就不能 soluble in water, insoluble in water. Okay， 太过 complex 了 ，and they cannot be crystallized. Okay, so remember, polysaccharide that not sweet, not soluble in water. So very importantly, you must know carbohydrate. Main thing about carbohydrate is, of course, is energy as a source of energy, and we know it as primary source of energy, and it is served as a food reserve, meaning that you keep all those extra glucose in the form of glycogen. For plant, they keep as starch, correct now? So as a food reserve, and it's also a source of energy. Okay, and lastly, forming macromolecules where they are needed to form the DNA and RNA. Okay, so this one I will explain further under the last part called nucleic acid. Okay,